There are more parts of Chula Vista that are considered high and very high fire hazard severity zones. I'm near the intersection of East H Street and Terra Nova Drive. This is where the high and very high fire hazard severity zone begins for this northern part of Chula Vista. Neighborhoods like Terra Nova, Bonita, these places are at risk when it comes to wildfires, and more specifically are going to be subject to the Zone 0 regulations coming up. What does that mean? That's what we're here to discuss. Hey everyone, my name's Chris. I'm with ZoneZeroCalifornia.com. And before we get started, I want to remind you, we're doing a subscriber giveaway. We are giving away a pedestrian gate. This is a color bond gate by Durabond. It is designed and made in Australia, and it's built to withstand the intense heat of wildfires. And this is the exact kind of gate that you will need to replace your old wood gates with if you live in these high or very high fire hazard severity zones due to the Zone 0 regulations. So if you want a chance to win, we're giving away a free gate every 500 subscribers. So of course you got to subscribe and then go to ZoneZeroCalifornia.com, fill out the form, and download your free Zone 0 checklist guide. Okay, so in these neighborhoods that are affected, you will be subject to the Zone 0 regulations. What does that mean? It means your building materials in the 0 to 5 feet around your home. This includes your landscaping, your fences, your gates, your decks, your siding, and your roofing. It will need to be, you will need to replace anything that is not compliant with compliant materials. So what does that look like? Obviously, I mentioned a wood gate. A lot of wood gates here in the San Diego area and throughout California. If your old wood gate is made with anything like redwood or cedar, you will have to replace it. Now, you don't have to go necessarily to only a metal gate. There are some woods approved for use. For example, a hardwood like a Kayu Batu is approved by CAL FIRE. And speaking of hardwoods, those are the exact kind of woods that people use often for decking. So again, if you have an old redwood deck, or perhaps the railings on your patio are made of redwood, you will have to most likely replace those with Class A non-combustible materials. And when it comes to decks, what else do we have? We have Trex, we have TimberTech, other composite materials. Okay, now when it comes to landscaping, if you have grass, you may have to transition from grass to gravel in that 0 to 5 feet, or go with something like paver stones. I know it's not ideal, but even worse yet, if you have a tree within 0 to 5 feet of your home or your structure, that may need to be removed. So we're going to see what happens. San Diego County is moving forward with their own sets of regulations prior to the state issuing their final regulations. Of course, this is in March of 2026, and we do expect the state to publish their broad top-down guidelines here very soon. We mentioned siding. If your home was built in a certain era with a certain architectural style, you may have wood siding. That will most likely need to be replaced. Now, there are grants available. I have compiled a short list of links to these grants to give you financial assistance on our school community. That's free to join as well. It's just a nice central place for me to be able to put a lot of things. I believe there's a link in the description of this video as well as directly on our website. So. Now lastly is roofing. Now most roofing material is most likely flame retardant, fire resistant, non-combustible to begin with. However, all of these things I mentioned are part of a complete fire hardening system. So if you have a tree that's littering dry leaves and those accumulate on your roof, and there's a major fire event where ember storms blow and land on this combustible material that's on your roof, given that and the high wind, it may grow so fast and so intense, it will essentially defeat the barrier that your roofing material provides. So in order to prevent that, that's what these Zone 0 regulations are about. You want to make sure you're regularly cleaning. You've got to be aware of the kinds of landscaping that will be affected. I think one thing they've also said is you can't have wooden planters anymore. You've got to just transition to pots. Stuff like that. So be aware, download our free checklist. Listen, this is what I usually do after I record these intros. I drive around these neighborhoods. I point out areas of concern in like any given random house. Mostly it's wood gates, mostly it's landscaping, just to give you guys an idea of not just the kinds of things to look out for that you'll be affected by, but just how many people, how many homes, how many properties are going to be affected by these Zone 0 regulations. So with that being said, once again, my name's Chris. Listen, we're giving away a free pedestrian gate. If you want to win, please subscribe. Go to zone0california.com, fill out the form, download your free Zone 0 PDF checklist guide. And of course, if you need to be put in touch with licensed contractors in your area, feel free to reach out to me and give me a call there, all right? So thanks. Let's go take over, drive around. We're in northern Chula Vista in the Terra Nova neighborhood. I'll show you guys on the map just the extent of where this is, and we'll drive around, all right? So let's hop in the truck and let's take a drive. All right, it's Chris, and now we're in the truck. Let me bring up my map here, show you guys where we're at, and then we'll take a drive and point out some Zone 0 issues or concerns with the houses in this area. It's a little slow. All right, the map's reset, so let me show you and zoom in here. So this is the area we're in now, the northern part of Chula Vista. Okay, I believe I am right here on the very edge of where, yeah, see Terra Nova? So if I zoom out, you'll see that it goes up north towards Bonita here. This top of the hill is very high fire hazard severity zone, but everything in orange is also high. I mean, that's high risk. So let's just take a drive, I guess. We'll go north here up Terra Nova and hop into some of these neighborhoods and just kind of follow the road and explore. So let's go. All right, so let me see here. Make sure it's clear to drive. Safety first. There's a car coming, so let me there we go. This way nobody has to pass me. All right, so let's just take a quick drive. All right, so let's take a quick drive into this neighborhood right here, and this is off Terra Nova Drive, and see if we can find any. So again, pay attention to wood fences, gates, and landscaping like trees. So already right here, this house, that is a wood fence and gate. Look at all the palm trees next to the house, right? There's a wood gate right there. Let's see what's over here. I see vinyl back there. Now vinyl, I'm not sure if that's considered non-combustible or not. I'll have to look into that. There's another wood gate, more trees. Wood gate, more trees. There's vinyl gates right there. Vinyl gates back there, but more trees. How about this side of the street? Oh, wood fence. Trees, wood fences and gates over there. Another wood fence and gate. More wood. So my guess is when this community was first built, you know, obviously they went with wood because it's a little cheaper and easier. Some people have done improvements on their own. I'm seeing a lot of wood gates though. I'm seeing a lot of wood fences. Some people have upgraded to vinyl. Many people have not. Let me go ahead and make a safe U-turn here and see if we can find anything else. But here we go. There's a wood fence right there. Wood gate. Wood fence. That one's metal. Wood fence. Wood fence. Wood fence and gate over here. Wood fence and gate back there. This one's vinyl. So, you know, some houses are safe, many are not. Of course, I want to make a safe U-turn here, so give me a second. Let this car pass. All right, making a safe U-turn. This house right here, that is a wood fence and gate. And it goes right up to the house. That's Zone 0. So yeah, we're in the Terra Nova neighborhood here, in the northeastern part of Chula Vista, and a lot of houses with wood in this neighborhood. Back there, a lot of trees too. Remember, like I said, if the tree is within 5 feet, or the leaves hang over and touch your home. Look at this tree right there between both houses. Wood fences and gates here. I know it's going a little fast, but this is just to show you guys the kinds of neighborhoods that are at risk for Zone 0 compliance once these rules get officially published. Now, like I said, I believe San Diego has already moved forward, so San Diego might already have its own Zone 0 laws, but yeah, more wood fences and gates. Lots of wood fences and gates here in the Terra Nova neighborhood, as well as trees. So most of the houses have stucco siding, so that's not an area for concern. But again, lots of wood fences and gates. So I'm gonna drive a bit. As you can see here, right? We're in the hills here. You know, I've said this before. I'll say it again. That topographically, these fire hazard severity zones tend to coincide with mountains and hills, mostly because I think of the winds, the high winds. So these areas are susceptible to high winds, which in a fire event will mean that the winds blow and fuel the fire, and you know, contribute to the ember storms and the spread of the fire and the damage. So I'm on Terra Nova. We're heading north. If you remember what that map looked like, we're sort of heading northeast. Now we are on top of a hill here, headed towards like the Bonita area, the Bonita neighborhood. Again, but these are all homes in the yellow, high, and red, very high fire hazard severity. And again, right, that house has a palm tree hanging over the roof. More palm trees hanging over roofs. So these look like slightly more modern homes here. Let's see if I can see any wood. I see a lot of wrought iron right now, so that's good for this neighborhood. But nevertheless, the landscaping. So these homes might not have any wood fences or gates, but their landscaping might be an issue, right? All those trees. So yeah. All right, now we're at Rancho Del Rey Parkway. I'm going to hit a left because I want to kind of continue heading northeast. What is this? This looks like a church, maybe? So this is a nice neighborhood. But it's in the middle of a very high fire hazard severity zone. Again, look at the landscaping here. All these trees in this valley, right? So, oh, I see a wood fence back there. So some of these neighborhoods are old enough to have wood fences, or not. They haven't been modernized yet. But yeah, this is North Chula Vista in the Terra Nova neighborhood, Bonita neighborhood. Looks like a gated community here. So I'm gonna leave it, and we're gonna catch you guys on the next one. Once again, my name's Chris with zone0california.com. We are giving away a free pedestrian gate. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel and then go to zone0california.com and fill out the form to download your free Zone 0 PDF checklist guide. And of course, if you want to be put in touch with licensed contractors in your area, feel free to give me a call or reach out to me there. Thank you.